possibly 4 weeks ago, I heard an advertisement on your radio station from a company called Grid Solar. I would love to have that phone number so I can reach out to them with reference to solar panels being installed on my property.
Our listeners are aware and engaged, but more than that, they are loyal. When they hear empowering messages that uplift their community and help them live better lives, they respond. No medium reaches this coveted black audience like KBLA Talk 1580. So, hit us up today at smb@kbla1580.com and let us help you connect with our loyal listeners. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black under the bud. Tabitha Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of black talk radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. What's up? God bless. Happy Monday. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First. And my first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Got a lot to talk about. Hour 1, we typically look to the left coast, what's going on around here. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic or an interesting person. Today, we'll be speaking with Shadeh El-Hawari, who is running for the California State Assembly. Right now, joining me in studio, he is a journalist with the Los Angeles Progressive, a podcaster with The Conversation Live, and a KBLA contributor, James Farr. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm, almost better.
Almost better.
How are you?
I was going to say, how you feeling?
Yeah, it's been a rough couple weeks, but we're working it through, and it's election season, so you know how it is. We suit up and show up.
Suit up and show up and sometimes show out, right?
Got to do that, too. Can't be boring. So we said we were going to stick to local, and we will, but I'm sure you have a few things to say about what's happened over the weekend, including some really kind of discouraging polling showing the presidential tightening.
Yeah, when we were here Thursday, I said, 2 points? And it's actually down to 1 now.
Depending on which poll you look at.
Which poll
a couple
you look at.
She's up, a couple he's up, all within the margin of error.
Right.
But it seems to be moving, as far as the polling goes, in Trump's direction, which is pretty amazing.
I don't think so. And again,
it's pretty amazing if you think about human life and, what, if you think about it in the trajectory of the whole world and, what our standards are as far as lying and, being a criminal and, being a
White.
yeah, but even white. I mean,
I mean, that's real. That's what it is.
I mean,
it's
it didn't. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm thinking about all of the people over the years who've been disqualified from the presidency who are white.
right. Well,
You know,
I mean,
Howard Dean. You know, what was the guy that was on the boat? Gary Hart.
right.
For tiny little things, and this dude over here, a whole convicted.
Felon, 30,
Yeah,
30,
not to
34
mention
times.
sex offender.
Sex offender.
Right. Anyway, so you
misogynist,
don't think
racist.
you don't think it's surprising because
I don't think it's surprising because the MAGA people they've stayed steadfast in their positioning. So if, as we're seeing, he's gaining momentum because, we've kind of had about 4 weeks of hearing Vice President Kamala Harris really start speaking, in terms of with media, speaking in debates, and her messaging, while it's somewhat evolved, it hasn't necessarily shifted, right?
yeah, once again the double standard. No one seems to care what Trump's specific policy positions are.
Trump
No one
wants to take the country into the toilet.
Yeah,
all right?
that's fine, but no, he's the fact that even our progressives. I heard Nina Turner on MSNBC. just sounded exactly like you.
Really?
And a lot of other progressives on this station who shall go unnamed. That sound, all they do all day long is criticize Harris and talk about accountability.
That wasn't a critique.
And-
That was not a call for accountability. That was an observation. The question was why.
However you catch it.
Well, no, I mean I caught it, and I'm gonna throw the rock back. What it was an observation on why I believe Trump hasn't lost anything, and we see he's gaining or catching up ground.
Yeah.
Whose fault is it? I mean, that's
Well, here's the thing that's most, and there was a lot of controversy, and we'll talk about this next hour about Obama, the way he dressed black men and sort of.
so. I was offended.
You were.
I was. I really was. And it's not too off what I've said, in terms of phone banking, holler at the brothers at the barbershop, whatever. I got all of that, right? But this idea, and I've been painted into this with a brush. It's not that I'm not feeling Kamala. It's not a feeling. For me, it's just a question. Like, with anyone who...
It's not pain. I think you've painted yourself there with that brush.
No, I
because
didn't
what we need right now is we need, people, if you're interested in not having Trump win, we need all hands on deck. We need support. We don't need constant questions. The questions are good. They're legit. I get it. But, why are we not questioning everybody else in the same way? This is not the moment. But whatever. I'm more interested in why you were offended by Obama, because to me it was giving kind of Bill Cosby. Remember when he used to lecture black men?
Sagging. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't meeting brothers where they are. I got a call yesterday from a brother out of the Bay Area, man. I'm just not feeling this. He used the word feeling, right?
Do you think that Obama is out of touch, or why do you think he does that?
I think it was...
Because I don't think he helped Kamala with that. I think he hurt her with that.
I think he absolutely hurt her. To your point, all hands are needed on deck, right? And so...
Yeah, but
we're
lecturing people and wagging your finger at them, when has that ever worked?
I told you before, telling black men what to do. We are independent enough. We are well informed enough. We are educated enough. We some of us are engaged enough, right? Some of us have partners, wives that are very successful, and that doesn't.
Are pushing you already.
But that has nothing. That has nothing to do with the audacity to ask a question for clarification. Again, presuming she does win, do we just wait to ask after the election? Hey, President-elect, we didn't get a chance to ask these questions before because we were told that, our mothers, our sisters. I'm with all of that.
Here's the thing, James. Have you ever been in a situation as a black man where people had a million questions? They had a million concerns. They had lots of reasons why they just weren't quite sure you were the one for the position or the opportunity. None of them being you're a black man. But after a while, it started to feel like that's the reason behind it, because it's like, Oh, you got another concern. Oh, another question.
You mean twice
Oh,
as
really?
good, 4 times better? I mean,
yeah.
pay
Because
the black tax.
that's
Is that what
it's
you mean?
That's what it's giving right now. That's what it's giving. And one more
that's
thing
not the
about
intention.
and one more
That's-
thing, Kamala.
that's-
You know,
that's-
and
that's not the-
accountability, Kamala. And Kamala, can we? And one more thing about and so that's what it's giving. But at the same time, when I heard Obama, I cringed
Yes.
because I just thought this hurts her. This hurts her because now you're over here wagging your finger at black men, and they're like, you know what? We out.
Well,
That's my experience of black men, which I'm not.
Give him the
one,
smoke,
but as
right?
the mother of one, and yes.
Give President
Look
Obama
at it
all of that smoke.
Look at it this way. I've said, that, oh yeah, I love black men. I love black men. Let me put it this way. Black men love me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the feeling is mutual.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard that, I was just like, is this man, is he out of touch? I don't know. I call it the rich black man syndrome. It's like Bill Cosby. You get to be a billionaire. You get to be a world-renowned rich icon. Maybe you lose touch with the regular guys.
Perhaps he has. But again, your original question was, why do I think Trump has gained, right?
No, that wasn't my question, but okay, you can answer that one if that's the question you want.
The observation is that because Kamala her messaging hasn't really evolved. I mean,
neither is Trump's.
The lies.
And actually hers has. And here's the thing, most people don't even know what her messaging is. But what I was going to point to is that the gender gap is the biggest thing here. That the gender gap is tremendous. And instead of lecturing black men, Obama needs to be lecturing white women because that is the difference in these polls.
Absolutely.
Trump leads, there are like huge gaps. It's like a 30-point gap between men and women.
Yeah, I mean,
men supporting Trump, women supporting Harris.
I've said from the very
But
beginning.
Trump is winning men by a few more points than Harris is winning women. So if Obama can take, white girls like him,
They do.
If he can go lecture them and move the needle 2 or 3 points, she wins.
Maybe he needs to go on what's the podcast, Call Your Daddy. But I was always concerned about white women voting for Kamala from day one.
I know.
The minute she dropped it, and that's
the
the
first
first
we've agreed on
that's
this
the
journey.
first thing I came in here
because
saying.
they have a track record of voting their privilege, not their interests.
Absolutely.
And here goes. Even though there's a 30-point gap, which is much bigger than normal. Normally it's about 20 something.
I mean, Barack must have forgot that Michelle told us to do something, right?
She still needs to do better with women. And that's why. And, all the hot takes on the media, they seem to be the same. Well, we're getting ready to blame black men or blame black women if she loses. Well, that's bull because black men still overwhelmingly support Harris.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a few points behind black women, to be honest. Black people are not the problem here.
We are not.
That's a universal hot take. But what I'm not getting is people saying where we need to move the needle is women, specifically white women, and to some degree, Latina women.
Absolutely. And as you were alluding to, setting up this blame game is not cool, right? To blame black men if Vice President
they're
Harris
going to blame black women too, but it's stupid. 80% of black men voted for Joe Biden, and
not
something
quite the same way. We gonna catch it, right?
Okay, whatever it is, by the same people who probably voted for Trump, which is what makes it really sad. But as somebody said in the chat, Paul Lee, it's still, Trump even said he likes Stein and West because they take votes away from Harris.
Trump, of course he would say something like that, right?
That's true.
I mean, why wouldn't he say that?
I think more true of Stein than Harris and West. I mean, West and Abdullah, but still true.
It is very true. And again, going back to this blame, I hear folks saying.
Why would he say it? I don't know. Why do you think he would say it?
Because his objective is to discourage people from voting from Hillary. I mean, that's just one-on-one.
Voting
right?
for Harris?
Yes.
Okay, got it. 800-920-1580. We're going to pivot to these local issues, but I knew you'd want to sound off on Obama and these polls. Anything else?
Nah.
You sure?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good this morning.
Mr. Obama, if you're listening. Listen to your wife and do something. KBLA Talk
Something
1580.
else.
Do something else. Yeah.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
You can do it all by yourself, baby girl. What's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink.
Spilled your drink? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night.
Buy you a drink.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy the Jack-O-Lanterns here with a front porch view of Target's Halloween deals, like 20% off costumes with Target Circle. We're talking rock stars, witches, princesses.
Ooh, I think I'd look good with a cape.
I think so too, Gordy. Plus, hit the trick-or-treat jackpot with 20% off candy.
Now that's how you get porch traffic.
This week only, save 20% on costumes with Target Circle and 20% off candy. Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Restrictions apply.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
Hey LA, today I'm here to talk to you about Grid Alternatives, which is a nonprofit in LA that focuses on renewable energy. We serve communities who have been left out of the renewable energy sector. We offer paid job training, and in 13 weeks, you can become a solar installer. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry, and once you're hired in the industry, you stop at a high, medium income. That could be $20 an hour or more. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry. Call today so you don't be left out at 323-861-0105 or gridalternatives.org, gridalternatives.org.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Let's get back to me and James Farr. James Farr, LA Progressive. You can find him at the Conversation Live, which jamesfarrlive.com.
Yes.
I have a website too. I never talk about it. DominiqueDiPrima.com. And don't forget KBLA1580.com. So, general election. You said you want to talk about the state measures.
Yeah.
Man, okay.
33. I'm just.
33 is rent control.
Yes.
Okay, tell me why you're confused or conflicted or whatever's going on.
I understand the importance of removing the Casa-Hawkins law. I also understand the importance of individual cities being able to determine, what rent control looks like.
Right.
But then after talking with some folks who own property, they expressed some concerns about being restricted on exactly how they can, leverage their investment.
But that's not true.
That's their understanding. So it kind of confused me. So that's why I'm still trying to.
The thing that's really driving me crazy about Prop 33 is these ads. I'm trying to figure out how they can get away with saying things that are just out and out not true.
Again, it is so confusing.
But really all Prop 33 does is repeal Costa-Hawkins.
That's it, right?
That's it. What does that mean?
Well, what it means is we see these newer developments that are popping up, across the Southland, across LA County, right? That otherwise wouldn't be regulated by rent control. We look at the housing or unhoused population. I mean, we look at affordable housing options. These are places that could be used, where people could live in if there were under, if you're not paying, $4,500 for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath
Right.
with a corner patio, right? So.
I mean, I meant what does Costa-Hawkins means? Repealing Costa-Hawkins. Costa-Hawkins is a law that said, I think it was passed in 1995.
95, yeah.
And it said you can't put rent control on buildings
built after
95.
Mm-hmm.
And so what it's done is it's exempted huge swaths
Mm-hmm.
of our housing stock from any kind of rent control.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you vote yes on 33, all you're saying is cities and counties will now be allowed to enact rent control if they decide to do so.
Right.
So your friends who are landlords are saying what? They don't want to be subject to any rent control at all? They just want to be able to do whatever they want if the piece is built after 95?
Essentially, that's what they're saying.
Okay, well.
That's exactly what they're saying.
Why is that confusing? They just want to have the free will to price gouge. And I'm not saying your friends are price gouging, but they want to have that option.
The way it was explained to me is like, Farr, I don't want to, have the law dictate what I'm able to sell something 10 years from now.
It's not about selling now. It's about what you rent it for.
Right. I mean, not selling, but they've given that kind of analogy. Like,
well, it's a dumb analogy because it doesn't apply. The only thing is, though, maybe they think the rental value will impact the sales price.
No, let's take selling it out of it. The analogy was selling a product, right? Like for it to be regulated today, that I can't increase the cost or the price of it.
So they're against rent control as a concept.
Absolutely.
So why is that confusing?
Well, they're not confused. I'm trying to figure out where I'm landing.
For you,
on
as
this.
A progressive, are you not clear that rent control is a good thing?
I'm clear that rent control is or rent stabilization is a good thing. So I'm clear on that part of it, but I'm hearing the discussion, right? And these are both sides of it, and I'm trying to bring forward both sides of that argument.
Yeah, well, I think the no on 33 was a lot of ads.
It's a lot of ads.
A lot of ads, and they are very misleading, and it makes me think it's going to lose, because they say a lot of things they're saying are just out and out not true. And and here's the thing. If I look at those ads, I believe if I vote yes on 33, housing is going to get more expensive. It's the classic Republican playbook.
Mm-hmm. Where are you landing on it?
That's a strong yes. Mm-hmm. It's not even confusing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the third time. It's frustrating because I feel like people are being tricked for the third time into voting against their best interests.
Well, isn't that politics, right? I mean, that's what.
Yeah, but it's bad. It's bad because we're in a housing emergency in the state of California.
Seriously. I mean, but we may get those 3 million units.
Why should the only units that can have any regulation by cities and counties be the old ones from 1995 or earlier? Basically, they're telling you if you're a low-income person, you only get to live in old, rundown places.
Well, it's a new.
What the heck?
It's a new form of redlining, right? It's a new way of containing populations. Those who can't afford to live in different housing options will, and those who can't and need that will be kind of relegated to,
The proposition replaces the previous law with one sentence, barring the state from limiting cities and counties' right to, quote, maintain, enact, or expand residential rent control. That's it.
That's all.
That's it, and that's all. Yeah, that's the whole thing. The whole enchilada, people. All that other stuff is made up. And I'm back to my question, James. How can they do that? How can they just say stuff that's not true?
Because the ads aren't necessarily regulated, right? It's.
Oof.
We
need to do something about that, because that's not okay.
It's not, and.
The other thing that's confusing people is Governor Gavin Newsom came out against this. And, people think that he's a progressive.
Well, I think what Gavin is doing is, burying a cache, kind of, so to speak, of alliance, right?
No pun intended.
Not CASH, right? But he's burying a cache of, for his political future, right? He's
trail
looking down
of conservative breadcrumbs.
Yes, he's looking down the road.
He's looking down the road, but from some of the interesting stuff I've been reading, he's also looking at his current donors.
Well,
I mean, that's, big real estate.
I mean, when you look at a lot of the electeds, the California Apartment Association, California Realtor, I mean, when you look at all of these different development groups, they are big supporters of candidates, right?
Yeah.
It's a reason, like, I go right back into Pasadena, why we couldn't get rent control passed several years ago, because I believe at that time 4 of the council members were landlords.
Right.
They're not going to vote against their interests. And when you have we have in our city part-time electeds, right? So it's not a full-time job.
Yeah.
They're going to make money other places.
I'm against that, by the way, ever.
You think
anywhere.
It should be full-time?
I think, if you're going to serve the city, maybe you need fewer if you can't afford to pay them full-time. We've got news, traffic, and sports, and then we'll look at some more ballot measures. I know you want to talk about 36 when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. President Biden is pledging more federal help after touring hurricane damage in Florida. Biden announced $612 million in federal funding for 6 Department of Energy projects in the Southeast. Milton slammed into the state as a major Category 3 hurricane last week, killing at least 16 people. And a new NBC News poll shows former President Trump and Vice President Harris tied at 48% support with less than a month before the election. 10% of voters are still undecided, and the race has become a dead heat. And House Speaker Mike Johnson says former President Trump doesn't need to release his medical records. Appearing on NBC's Meet the Press, the Louisiana Republican said Trump proves every day that he's fit enough to be commander-in-chief. And Mike Tyson says Jake Paul needs to offer him $20 million, not $5 million, to risk getting an I Love Jake Paul tattoo if he fails to make it past the 4th round in their upcoming fight. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 in my garage after I overpaid for new blinds. I researched the industry, hired my mom, and 14 years later, we're one of the largest retailers of custom blinds in the U.S. Don't pay too much for new blinds. Go to Blindster.com.
Is this the This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers pitching staff continues to dominate in the postseason. The 9-0 win over the New York Mets Sunday in Game 1 of the National League Championship Series is the Dodgers' 3rd straight shutout in the playoffs. The pitching staff has not given up a run in the playoffs in 33 straight innings. That ties a postseason record set by the Baltimore Orioles in 1966. Game 2 today is an afternoon start. First pitch at 1:08. The Chargers are 3-2 after a 23-16 win at Denver. Former USC star Caleb Williams had his best day as the Chicago Bears starting quarterback. Williams threw for 229 yards and 4 touchdowns in the Bears win over Jacksonville. Congratulations to former Lakers star Michael Cooper. Cooper was inducted Sunday into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Cooper played 9 of his 12 NBA seasons with the Lakers and made the NBA's all-defense team 8 times. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Have you heard of the 50-30-20 rule? This can help you spend and save your money wisely. So, how does it work? Distribute your dollars into 3 buckets. 50% towards needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% goes to savings. Use this tool to help your journey to financial success. Sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You can even just with impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains. Chevy Silverado, the first ever Silverado EV, Colorado and Tahoe have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet, together let's drive. 0% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $27.78 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 9.3%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 10/31/24.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like your style, though.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, James Farr's with me. He wants to talk about Proposition 36, and this is what I call throwback 3 strikes. An easy one for me. Easy no.
No.
I mean, you got Nathan Hochman saying yes. You've got progressive DA George Gascon saying no.
Yeah, I saw some Nathan Hochman signs just around the village when I was here last week leaving, right?
Yeah.
I see more of his signs in other communities.
I'm just saying, what does 36 represent?
36 represents sending the state back into this more carceral state, right? I mean, so this 3 strikes type legislation, this fear mongering, this taking away resources, this filling up the jails. I mean, we've seen this before, and it's gotten us nowhere but problems.
Yeah.
Specifically in our community. I mean, I was on that Nextdoor app, right? And
sorry.
I know. Yeah, I went down that rabbit hole.
The Karen app.
I went down it. But, people really, they're so misinformed that, they don't understand the courts. They don't understand police's job. They think police and more police will actually keep them safe, right? And that's just not the case.
I mean, that's not what the data shows, so that's an unscientific approach. But again, fear is one of those things that's more of a feeling. It's not rational. It's not logical.
I saw that a report that 7-Eleven is closing stores, right? And people immediately point to...
Right. But here's the thing. Those retailers want you to do that because they want you to blame the criminal. That's like less than half a percentage point of any of their losses, and they have insurance for it.
It allows them to raise their prices. Most retailers will tell you that theft from employees is far greater than theft from the public, right?
You can just Google
loss, shrink it, you know.
You can Google the numbers. Yeah, they call it shrinkage. That means employees taking stuff. Yeah, it is more. But it's just like when we raised the minimum wage and the fast food joints all tried to say, oh, now we have to raise prices. No, you were planning to raise prices. Now you can blame the workers.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
So back, in the work you've been doing in a previous life, right, in previous on air, how do you see 36 impacting, like, justice impacted folks, right?
36 is, well, the good news about 36 is black people see through it.
Mm-hmm. Do they?
Yes. If you look at the polling, unlike Nathan Hawkman, which some black people are supporting because they're believing the hype and not looking at they don't like Gascon, even though they're not familiar with how helpful his policies have been. But with 36, black people are the only group that's polling wildly against it. So the way I see it impacting us is, it's back to lock them up. It's back to, not that they're not being locked up now, but lock them up for excessively long sentences. It's back to the 3 strikes. When you hear gang enhancements, that's really 3 strikes.
Mm-hmm.
It's back to our people being the product, to your point about products, for the prison industrial complex.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 36 and 6 being on the same ballot measure is really interesting, isn't it?
It is. It is. I mean, and that was, you talked about that the other week, and you had some folks on who have been impacted by forced labor and kind of not understanding that the California Department of Rehabilitation does nothing to rehabilitate. I'm like I said, I'm concerned that, young people, right, making foolish, silly mistakes are going to be impacted long term in their life. No one wants to see, kids stealing out of stores. That's obviously not.
Yeah, but they already passed a bunch of strict retail theft laws that the governor has signed into law.
Mm-hmm. But
you don't need 36. It's already gotten more carceral.
I mean, but it's interesting that when you said black folks are waking up to it. Some of the ones I'm talking to are like, man, it's out of control. Like they're constantly repeating it's out of control.
I mean, I hear that. Yeah, a lot of those are the people that are supporting Hawkman because they're caught up. And it's really frustrating for me.
I mean, that's up and down the state.
Because I've seen the cycle before.
DA to the side. I mean, the perception is crime is up, right?
But it isn't. Certainly, the smash and grabs are sensational, and the media likes to play them over and over again with no concern about how that impacts the election, which it clearly does. But I don't know what to say because people aren't logical in their perceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I see Prop 36. If what would make white people feel safe, or all people feel safe, is locking up more and more and more black people, because you think that people are doing smash and grabs at a higher level, then that's what 36 is. Yes on 36 means yes, I want to lock up more and more and more black people so other people can feel safe, even though it doesn't actually make them safe.
Well, I don't think most black people feel unsafe, right? I mean, I think it is an issue with white folks, right? It is an issue of making them feel safe.
Yeah, a lot of seniors, I hear this from older Americans, that they feel crime is on the spiral because they watch a lot of
daytime,
yeah, and local news. But the other thing is that, I think even elders want a more thoughtful approach to public safety, not just lock us up all the time. But I get frustrated because I see this cycle going around with me on the microphone. Okay, here we are, black people leading ourselves to the slaughter again, because we get caught up in hype that doesn't apply to us. No, when Masa has a cold, you don't have pneumonia.
The ice is colder, huh?
The ice ain't colder. H2O freezes at the same temperature everywhere in the world.
Yeah, come on, people. We really got to wake up on this and talk with your friends at church, fraternity, brothers, sisters,
if
everybody.
If you have any white friends, lecture them. Or maybe call Obama and get him to lecture them. If you have any white friends, and you can turn them on this, because that's who's about to pass. 36 is polling very favorably.
Very favorably.
So we have to really work on the no here.
Yeah, well, no, we don't need Obama. Take a time out. We don't need him.
What ground game calls an attempt to turn back to the clock to the war on drugs era and fatten the budgets of state prisons and county jails?
That's 36.
Yeah, no. So we agree on 36.
We
36 is a no.
We do.
I feel like after much confusion, I have landed on no on 35 about the managed care tax to fund Medi-Cal, blah, blah. On the surface, it sounds like something good because it's forcing companies to spend their money on patient care rather than other things. But after looking at doing some reading, which I told you all I was going to do, and boy, was it boring. Because Prop 36 is, it's Charlie Brown's parents all day long.
You mean 35?
I mean 35.
You get fired up for 36.
Yeah, I get fired up for 36. 35 is like, please make it stop. I'm voting no. What do you think?
I'm voting no as well. I mean, it's the lobbying behind it, right? That's the concern. Is again, it's confusing. I've been trying to read up on them as much as I can over the weekend.
Whew. And some of them, it's really like forcing yourself to drink cod liver oil or something. Just so just boring. But the fact is that with a lot of these healthcare things, I end up voting no just because it's confusing, and then I don't think we should have to legislate this at the ballot box. I think it should be lawmakers making these moves. Okay. Well, 34. Yeah. I also landed on no after much nightmare reading that made me want to hurl. This is the Revenge Against
Is that the zombie one?
It's the Revenge Against AIDS Healthcare Foundation.
What is
proposition? Because people are hating on AIDS Healthcare Foundation. I mean, they are kind of obnoxious, but the thing about it is that what the proposition does is it means that nonprofits won't be able to use their money to support propositions and lobbying. They have to spend 98% of their money on services. And that sounds good in theory, but really what you're doing is you're making it where nonprofits cannot have a political voice. And I don't think that's okay. So
32?
That's 34. That's
no, I'm asking.
Oh, 32.
I'm with you to raise the minimum wage.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer for me. Easy yes. What about you?
Well, I'm going to go with what Dr. West has said and Dr. Abdullah. $27 an hour minimum wage is what.
But that's not on the ballot.
That's not on the ballot. You're right. But I thought I'd add that.
Throw that in there. So are you going incrementally? You're voting yes on 32 until we can get to 27. What is it, 17, I think?
It is. It depends on what city you're in.
And what size of business
and what size of business. Yeah. Fast food industry is kind of already bumped up a little bit.
Right. So it's $18 an hour by 2025 for employers with over 26 employees. And that's still, I think Wes and Abdullah are right. It's going to take about 27, but that's what we're voting on right now is
27.
18.
Barely.
And it's 17 for those with the smaller employee bases. So far we've gone. I was trying to make us go through all of them. So 36, we agreed no. That was the back to three strikes. 35, the Medicaid, spend all the money on patients, but it creates budget inflexibility. I said no. I think you said no also.
Yes.
34, we agreed no.
We agreed no.
33, the rent control, I said yes.
I'm going yes on this, but again, I raised the concern.
A shaky yes from James.
Well, it's not a shaky yes, but it's a listening to the other side. I'm
always listening to the other side, but then I just go vote against them. Prop 32, the minimum wage, we agreed yes on that, I think.
Yes.
All right, we'll look at more of these when we come forward. Time to go over our ballots, people, on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Black Women for Wellness and Stand LA are standing up against harmful oil drilling in South Los Angeles. Our Bad Neighbors campaign exposes the serious health risks of drilling in our neighborhoods. You've seen the billboards, posters, and coffee sleeves around South LA. Now join the movement to protect our health, our families, and our future.
Visit bwwla.org/no-drilling to learn more and get involved. That's bwwla.org/no-drilling.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth.
Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome. We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
Okay, James, you think we can speed through the rest of these propositions? I think we can do it.
Let's do it.
Because the next one would be, it jumps from 32 to 6. I never understand why the numbers are the way they are. I've talked about 6 a lot. What do you want to say something about it?
In terms of ending, well, folks are being locked up and having to work and aren't being compensated, right? And then you hear about the administrative fees, you hear about the restitution that goes back, which obviously restitution should be paid, right, as a part of the
Absolutely.
punishment. But when you look at folks who are working for 11, maybe 25 cents an hour, they're paying astronomical prices for things that they need, so if we're looking at folks that are impacted and mostly incarcerated here in our state, phone calls, commissary, these are burdens on families, right? So I think folks should be paid while they're incarcerated, and I certainly think they shouldn't be made to work and not be compensated.
Yeah. So you're yes on 6.
I'm a yes on 6.
Yes on 6 to end involuntary servitude in the state of California. I'm a yes on that too. Proposition 5, it's in a nutshell, it lowers the percentage of the voters you need to pass a bond measure to fund something from 65 to 55. That's an easy yes for me.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Well, it lowers the threshold for in terms of if people are turning out to the polls, right? And this will allow lawmakers to, obviously give the voters an option to speak on it, but, there could be a cycle where there's a lower turnout. We just want a majority of the, 55%,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah. I also think that 65% is Herculean.
Right.
So it means it's really hard to fund anything in the state, to pay for anything, whether it's a safety measure or whatever it might be. And we kind of encourage gridlock through the way our system is.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they don't require 65% of the votes to win win office, right?
Right.
So.
Yeah. So we'd have very few lawmakers. I think Congresswoman Maxine Waters and Assembly Member Isaac Bryan might be some of the only people in office if you need. Anyway, so yeah, we're yes on that. Okay, let's talk about 4. This is an easy yes for me. This is Climate Justice Initiative, $10 billion for climate and environmental projects. And what I love about Prop 4 is it does factor in equity by demanding that at least 40% of those funds be spent in needier communities.
Absolutely. I mean, well, the station has been big this year on climate justice, right? So I'm learning more about the importance of it, environmental justice. So yeah, that's an easy yes.
Yeah, see, we are going to make it through. Okay, Proposition 3, if we already legalized marriage for all, it's nationally now legalized, but what we're doing with Prop 3 is putting it into the California Constitution. Another easy yes for me.
Yeah, and that's the one that doesn't that eliminate the language man and wife or
in the Constitution.
In the Constitution, yeah.
Yeah, so really what it's doing is protecting against Project 2025, and should Trump win, which it looks like there's a chance that he will. So you want to put as many things into your state constitution as possible to weather that storm, which may or may not be enough. But so Prop 3 is a yes for me.
Yes.
Yes, that's just codifying marriage for all. Proposition 2 is now I'm you and you get to be me, because I haven't decided about Prop 2 yet, because it authorizes $10 billion in new bonds for capital investments in K through 12 public schools and community colleges, which we know need that investment. They're run down, et cetera, et cetera. The reason that the argument folks make against it is that because the funds are allocated on a first-come, first-serve basis, and you have to raise matching funds, that it will favor wealthier schools who are able to quickly raise those matching funds and have the infrastructure, the administrators to be first come, first serve, because they're going to get those grant requests in. So what they're saying is that we may not see another school bond measure for another 10, 20 years, and this particular one, based on data, and what we've seen with these type of first-come, first-served formulas, will advantage richer districts.
They always do. Our schools in many cities, some don't have air conditioning. I mean, there's such a myriad of problems, right, that need to happen. I haven't decided on this one yet. This is one that I'm actually going to listen to a candidates forum tomorrow to learn a little bit more about.
What candidates forum is that, James?
That candidates forum is Unite LA and Invest in Children LA, as well as Pathways LA. We'll be hosting a candidates forum that is moderated by my wife, Tamika Farr. It's I had the names up somewhere around here, but it's for Assembly District 54 as well as LA Unified School District number 5, which that seat would be replacing retiring school board president Jackie Goldberg.
Right. Okay, so that sounds good. Do you have it up on your website? Where can we find out about it?
InvestLAkids.org is where they can find it.
Yeah, that one sounds
It's not on
good.
my site. But
Maybe I need to look at that too, because I haven't decided about to. But I will before the week is over. And then there's so that's all the state propositions.
We
Good
did
job,
it. We
us.
did it.
We
We did
rock.
it. Did we? I think we agreed on all. I'm still learning on one.
And I'm still learning on one.
Okay.
Same one.
Same one.
Prop 2.
All right.
What you know about that? Okay, James, we got a minute and a half here. I yield to you, the gentleman from Pasadena.
The gentleman from Pasadena. I'm going to talk to my brothers. Let's, as best we can, block out Brother Obama's scolding over the weekend, right? Land where you may with your decisions. I'm going to encourage you not to vote for Donald Trump at all, across the board. If you can't settle on Vice President Kamala Harris, Waltz, I'd like to see you vote for Dr. Cornel West and Melina Abdullah. Is that okay with you, Dominique?
I love that framing.
All right.
Let's ask Mrs. Farr. Can we get her on the phone, Miles?
Now, I did at the LA Urban League State of Black LA, ran into Congresswoman Maxine Waters. I asked her who she was voting for. Rhetorically, I expected a different answer, but I asked her, and of course she said Kamala Harris. So
why did you expect a different answer? She's been campaigning hard for Kamala Harris.
Well, what I wanted to do, Dominique, was I took from our exchange, and I said, I'm going to do something, right? I'm going to ask her. I didn't say anything back. I just let it, and I played it, right? I played it on social media.
It was very cute.
And so I did something.
You did a thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in today. As always, I think you're back on what, in another week or so?
I think 2. I don't know. 2 weeks.
Well,
I think. Yeah,
we'll figure it out. He'll be around here any minute.
Yeah.
James Farr showing up any minute.
Any minute.
Any minute.
I'm always here.
Basically. JamesFarrLive.com.
That's
Thank
right.
you so much for the conversation.
Thank you, Dominic. You feel better, okay?
I am. Day by day by day. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. President Biden is pledging more federal help after touring hurricane damage in Florida. Biden announced $612 million in federal funding for 6 Department of Energy projects in the Southeast. Milton slammed into the state as a major Category 3 hurricane last week, killing at least 16 people. And a new NBC News poll shows former President Trump and Vice President Harris tied at 48% support with less than a month before the election. 10% of voters are still undecided, and the race has become a dead heat. And House Speaker Mike Johnson says former President Trump doesn't need to release his medical records. Appearing on NBC's Meet the Press, the Louisiana Republican said Trump proves every day that he's fit enough to be commander-in-chief. And Mike Tyson says Jake Paul needs to offer him $20 million, not $5 million, to risk getting an I Love Jake Paul tattoo if he fails to make it past the 4th round in their
Don't pay too much for new blinds. Go to blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports